Hi everyone. In today's video, we're going to see about MLOps and LLMOps. Most of you would have heard of this machine learning life cycle because we know this thing like for versioning, collectivity part, error handling. So automating everything for a complete pipeline was difficult for us when we were handling machine learning models. At the end of every model, we need to deploy it as a product, right? For that, we were like going through all these steps and flow, and in between we need to stop and correct and rectify some of the errors and weights handling and algorithm changing. These part we need to change. For that, we just build this entire life cycle in order to handle it by itself, so that we can have a effective and productive products. So recent times this LLM thing came, and the prompt that we give, and it made the entire job easier. So are we going to do a deployment using that? So that is a question again. uh, there are like certain flows we need to follow for that. Everything is just created by us, like the way we automate the ML models. Here, we don't have to collect data or any fine tuning in between. So, only the prompt is there. What else we have in LLM ops? So, in today's video, see that how it actually different from LLM and ML. I mean, the operations between these two. And it is not much of a different, but the job for LLM operations is lesser than ML operations. So, see that. I'm just going to say the difference between each. I'm not going to implement and all. But yeah, let's understand what is behind and what all we can do. So, yes, I just, compressed the steps into like four, topics, I mean, steps into for the ML operations. So, first is data management. So, when I say collectivity, so it is on collecting data. So, whenever we are going for deployment, it need to do everything by itself, right? For that, we need to prepare ourselves to handle new set of data. We can feed like 2000 data and we train the model and just deploy the entire ML model with a certain set of data. What if the data gets updated? We need to prepare the entire pipeline for that. So the first step is data management. So what all we have is we collect data, sources we need to mention, and if it is a historical data, again we need to mention the stored, where it's stored, or any cloud platform which was available. So everything should be neat. And versions, if you are writing in Python 3.8, if higher version comes in, you need to update the entire package, right? For that, the version controlling should be there, and the entire data handling part. So the cleaning, processing, so everything, and for the train and test split. So it is of your entire machine learning step by step that you do. And here the training part where you need to specify the algorithm, which if it is like completely new algorithm that you are going for, you need to come back to this step so that you can just change everything. So here the hyperparameters comes in, and the flow of weights or bias. So these two things that you need to specify, error handling based on metrics. And finally, you will have a deployment platform where you put that entire package in a container. Docker you can use, and Kubernetes clustering, and for API calls and load balancing for 10K requests per minute. So you just mention like how it is going to back and forth. That is the deployment part. And here is the final way of testing your model, how it is actually working. Based on the accuracy of your model, it should be the same when you trained without this entire life cycle. When your model trained with accuracy of 85 percentage, while deployment, I mean, after deployment, it should be 85 percentage. This is the entire life cycle. and steps that you need to follow for ML operations for the entire thing. Next, LLMOps. How it actually different. So we know LLM is something that we just give a prompt to any LLM that we use, like Gemini or OpenAI, anything it may be. It extract the information, from the prompt, and it organize the answer for us. It gives the response for us. So this is a prompt, and that's how we communicate using LLM. But when it comes to deploying part, like how you actually deploy a full functioning model using LLM. So, first thing, you need to construct a prompt. So, even if the data changes, even if your scope changes, the prompt supposed to work finely. So, design system prompt. And there will be like a lot of checkpoints in between. You need to give a proper structure to your prompts. Prompts is like having like multiple step, like straightforward prompt is there. Like you can just give the prompt like in one line. When it comes to checkpoint, you just give with examples and the results that you're expecting, and sample prompt, sample output and sample input that you give. So entire structure it should have, and the response that you need in such a way, like it need to response back as an instructor or your agent or assistant, like that. You need to specify it. Next, text variations. Formal versus friendly tone, anything it may be, but it should be very clear that LLM should understand and respond back. You're not going to give directly into the entire life cycle, right? You'll test it anyway. Just figure out like how can you modify that, and you can give versions of prompt also, like different versions, or have a space where you can upload the text file. The text file to use the updated one. Like that, you can change the path of a prompt. That is another way of giving prompts. And measure success. So, success of your prompt supposed to be like above 99. 95, so that you can go with the automation. Yeah, here they are saying like 92 percentage, but I would say 95 because we are using LLM. It is not a art trained model. Next, yes, fine tuning and RAG. So RAG is one, a major role it plays here is to align the context that we are expecting through prompt. You can give external source of data as a reference, or you can ask it to search anywhere using any API calls that you can make inside. You can create agents, so there are like different way of doing it, depends on your application basically. But fine tuning, if it requires, you can do fine tuning. But RAG is a brilliant option if you wanted to know the knowledge. To extract the knowledge from various sources for LLM. You can use for internal domain knowledge and all. LLM won't have much. For that, you can give a data source. For that, RAG can be used. So, collecting a 10K medical Q&A, as I said, domain specific data. RAG is a good approach, but fine tuning is again, you just pull a model from a Hugging Face or anywhere, and you're like going to train it with your own data. So, again, it comes under machine learning models kind of. But LLM using RAG for external or domain specific data, well done. For that, you need to. So, when you are doing something, just test the accuracy. That is the only thing that from our end we can do for LLM operations, and it is must. A human uh, check, a human validation must be there, not the LLM again or any AI again. A human validating flow is must, and LLM evaluation. So you can compare your validation and LLM validation as your, for your own verification of a model to send it out. So this is, a step before deployment. Once you're like, okay, and you didn't expect any suspicious things inside, then you can do the both, like yours and the LLMs. Then you can just send the model for deployment. So deployment consists of So you can actually have with so many of it. Like you can quantize a model while deploying, and you can actually cache common queries like simple prompts that you can send, and just have those unnecessary API calls, and just make only the necessity of API calls for your LLM, like to ask questions. So these are like small small questions like hi, how are you. These are like unnecessary stuff we make, right? So these are like example I'm saying, which can be avoided, depends on the use cases that we do, and limit based on the cost. When it comes to deployment, you need to consider the cost of how much that you're going to use LLMs for. So for that, you can use Langsmith and all. And this way, you can use the mon- just monitor the cost and latency of every tokens that you use. That you need to specify and understand how much you're like spending. This is a deployment part actually for LLM. You can do multiple stuff. You can put it in any platform and publish your application. But how much you're going to spend for every user that they are going to request it for? That is a major consideration in LLM deployment. Yeah. And so majorly when you using LLM, the first thing is understand the prompt. I mean, the use case depends on the use case. Just give the prompt based on that. And validation is must, with the human validation is also necessary along with the AI validation. Just compare both, how it is actually structurally evaluated uh, based on a human perspective. You can just compare these two, like why it is not working, why it is working. Then you can change the prompt again and align the use cases. You can use anything like RAG, or you can fine tune it, depends on your specific model. At last, understand how much it is actually taking for a particular request, or sum it up the token size and see like how it is actually on overall, like per token, per 100 tokens, per 1000 tokens, how it is actually consuming as a for cost efficiency, right? After all, when you're using LLM, the one thing which we are doing it on cost basis, right? Like, yes, we spend money on it. When it comes to ML, we can spend money on the cloud platform or other things which is free, but cloud, for cloud space, we spend money. When it comes to LLM, we need to spend money on the model itself. So altogether, it is just understand like how much we are spending on it. So I think, yeah, this is what and how it differs from each other. It is simple and little costly, I feel, compared to LLM, because we do everything there from scratch. But here we just pull the information from a model and deliver it. Yeah, that's how it differs. And let me know if you need anything from this. I'll try to cover that in next video. Thank you. Bye.